Miami. Today is Tuesday, February 12th, 2013. This is the first meeting of February. It's a little bit past 7 p.m. Welcome to the North Miami City Hall, 776 Northeast 125th Street on the second floor in North Miami. We are now going to be calling our council meeting into order. To begin the meeting this evening, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to call the officers of the month, which is Officers Bryant and Officer Perez, to come forward to lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance.
All rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. You may be seated. For the invocation, we're going to call on Pastor Sherelle Sujou.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, staff, city staff.
Good evening.
May we bow our heads in prayer. Father God, creator of heaven and earth, we bow humbly before you, acknowledging your greatness, acknowledging and giving you honor and praise and glory because you're worthy of honor and glory and praise, because all blessings come from you. Lord, we ask that your presence would be here in these council chambers in a powerful way tonight, because all wisdom comes from you, because you are the all-knowing God, the all-wise God, the everlasting God. So, Lord, we ask that your wisdom would rule and that your will would be made known as our hearts are opened and our minds are open to your will in this place. I ask you to bless the council members. I ask you to bless the city staff. I ask you to bless the mayor and the assistant mayor. And we thank you that your blessings are great. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Sujou. Somehow,
Thank you for the blessing.
Thank you for the blessing. Somehow, I heard your young daughter is getting married.
Yes, she is.
I wasn't invited to the wedding.
The invitations haven't been sent out yet.
Okay.
I'm sure you're on the list.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Tell her I say hello. But you sent her to college and she bring back her husband?
Actually, she's going to stay up there with her husband.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you so much, Pastor Sujou. Mr. City Clerk, would you do roll call?
Vice Mayor Sterrill.
Here.
Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Mayor Pierre.
Here.
Councilman Marcellus.
Here.
Councilman Glenn.
Here.
Measure pass. I'm sorry. Here we have a quorum.
Okay. Thank you. Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum to conduct the business of the people this evening. There's a few things going on. I mean, month of February is, of course, a Black History Month. You know, if you, on my Facebook page, I have what they call little non-Black history fact that I do once a day. But sometimes, you know, I like to read, you know, some of histories that happen in America. And sometimes I like to go back, you know, to the 1800s. I remember when I first got to law school, there was a case that actually totally shocked me, but it's in March of 1857, the U.S. Supreme Court in Dred Scott versus Sanford rules that people of African descent cannot be U.S. citizens and are property and not protected by the Constitution, have no standing to sue or be sued in federal courts. I mean, this is in 1857, although the President Abraham Lincoln signs the Emancipation Proclamation abolishing slavery in 1863, which is 6 years later. It was interesting because when I first read that case, I was trying to figure out exactly what was happening back there in that decision. And although President Lincoln signs the Proclamation abolishing slavery in 1863, but there were, several states, governors, congressmen that basically said that they weren't going to move forward in enforcing that proclamation that went forward. So just a little bit of Black History Month, a little bit of fact here and there, and there's a lot going on. So like I said in my Facebook page, I have a few things that is posted there. To move forward, tonight is the State of the Union, which starts at 9 p.m. and we're going to be here till midnight, so I'm not sure if we're
No,
going
we
to
get out at 9:30.
Can we recess and come back?
Hopefully we'll get out early, but this was interesting. For the last couple weeks, I have been called and I have been asked questions about this young woman who is 102 years old, which is a North Miami woman. And I kept, people kept asking questions, do you remember seeing someone that was 102 years old that stayed online for 3 hours to vote in the election? And somehow it never rings a bell. And I didn't, I spent, all day on election day, early voting, but I don't remember seeing this young lady. But finally, last week, somebody said, yes, this young lady has been invited to sit with the First Lady Obama at the State of the Union speech. She is 102 years old. She is known as Granny. Basically, she's my grandmother too. Grandmother for all the people that live in the city of North Miami, and she is Haitian descent, Dessalines Victor. She is going to be known as the oldest guest ever to attend the State of the Union address.
Wow.
So she was not only chosen for her age, but she was chosen for what she stands for, which is staying in line for 3 hours, making sure that her vote counts. So just to mention just a little bit what's happening with her, she said, I know I'm going to sit with the president's wife. I do not think that I would ever get there. And she said, I am very proud to be there at the State of the Union address. So those of you who will be able to get out of here by 9 to watch the State of the Union address, you're going to be able to see Miss Dessalines Victor from the city of North Miami, and she was at the North Miami Library to vote on November 6th. To move forward, we're going to ask the manager any addition, deletions, amendments, deferral to the city agenda this evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I respectfully request to move tab H, I, and K respectively to section 8A as quasi-judicial items.
Okay, so we'll take that as items right after the consent agenda, right?
All right.
Correct.
Okay.
And
H-I-K.
HIK.
HIK.
What about G?
And
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
yeah, can I make this as an add-on? I just want to make accommodations to name Mrs. Dessalines Victor today to North Miami Citizen Hall of Fame.
Okay, so that would be an add-on, and I know there's another another resident that we'll be naming, so that I guess that would be an add-on to agenda. We'll take both at the same time with the other agenda item. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Manager? Anything else from you?
That's it, Mayor and
That's it?
Council.
Okay. Councilman Gavin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask questions on tab D, which is part of the consent agenda, so I'd like to pull that off of the consent agenda for questioning.
Okay. Anything else from the other council members? Hearing none. Councilman Gavin.
Thank you. Tab D is a resolution memorializing the allocations of revenue from Biscayne Landing. I guess my question is through you, Mr. Mayor, to the attorney. I understand that we're spelling out exactly where the money is intended to be spent based on our meeting a couple of weeks ago. Is that the intent of this resolution, and is this resolution binding for future city councils who might want to alter it up or down here or there
So what it does is actually memorialize what you've done from all of the proceeds, from going back June 2012 to present. Future, or even this body, may change by a majority vote any of the allocations, except there is a restriction for the reserve account that has to be removed by a supermajority under the limit imposed. Okay.
Also on subsection 8 of the provisions of where we're going to spend the money, it mentions $1 million for various projects in order of priority. Since I'm the one who suggested all of those projects, I'd like to ask a friendly amendment to remove the in order of priority language and just say for various projects. You know, when I was suggesting the items, I had no idea at all how much any of them would cost. I was just suggesting them as things we could aim toward funding. Okay. If North Bayshore Park eats up the whole $1 million, well, then maybe we need to revisit where we're going to spend the money, because I don't want to blow the whole wad of money on just one project or two projects. Right, I'm just trying to give us some flexibility.
All right. Anything else?
Okay.
Okay, just to move in order of priority, just $1 million for various projects. Okay?
Through the mayor, council, I think it's important that we have some clarity on this, because I don't want one project stopping another project. I know North Bayshore Park seemed to be an item that you all desired, and the alleyway walls seemed to be another item that I had gauged by the discussion that they were important. So we can move very quickly, but I think that if we had this type of structure, it allows staff to move very quickly.
So you need to know which one of these projects we should, move on.
I feel that all of these we can do within the $1 million. That's from our assessment from staff, that all of these can get done, and perhaps more. If we do run across an issue where one is going to be unusually astronomically high, we can report back to council for direction. But we feel that in this order that we can do it within that $1 million.
Then I move to keep the priority.
If you think you can get it done, great. I had no idea when I suggested these items how much each would cost, and I would hate to find out that we only did one of them because that first one, the North Bayshore Park, the boardwalk, I have no idea how much that would cost. But if that eats up $1 million and then we've got nothing
It's not going to eat up $1 million.
I don't think it would eat up $1 million. We don't foresee that based upon staff's reports. But we will say that in descending order, that's where the money will be spent, and we will stay within that $1 million and some left over in that descending order.
Beautiful.
Okay. As long as we spread the wealth, that's all I'm looking
Sure.
for. So I'll withdraw my
Thank you.
request for a friendly amendment, and as long as the collective will is that we focus on all of them.
Okay. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on into special presentations. We have 3 proclamations. I'm going to ask the City Council please step down for including the City Clerk for picture opportunities for the 3 proclamations. Then from there we're going to move on to the other 3 presentations that we have for this evening. Okay?
We haven't
Yes, sir.
voted on the consent agenda yet.
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
I mean, we have to go to that first. Okay, thank you.
Oh, Paul, good to see you. Paul is making it.
He's earning his stripes. He's earning his stripes.
We're gonna. Okay. We're going to call on Mrs. Ruby Crenshaw Johnson to be presented with the proclamation in honor of Black History Month. Ms. Johnson? Well, I'm going to turn the microphone over to you so you could tell the city not only about Black History Month, but, what we have been doing in this city in terms of celebrating Black History Month in the city of North Miami. So let's give a round of applause to Miss Ruby Crenshaw Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. Black History Month is a month that is being recognized nationally throughout the United States in honor of all African Americans who have contributed to society, past and present. And we are honored to be able to be a part of this celebration by offering different events to staff and the community during this month. So far, we kicked off our Black History Month, and we had a fabulous program where we had a fashion show where we went from past to present. And we had our showstopper, the mayor, came in and he did a fabulous job for us. But Black History is not all about a party. We do have a purpose this month. This month we are doing a tribute, making a donation to the Sickle Cell Foundation. In the back there is our piggy bank, which we are trying to get filled up. So feel free to make any type of donation you like, because at the end of the month, whatever proceeds we collect for this will be donated to the Sickle Cell Foundation. And as we all know, sickle cell is one of the leading killers in the African American community. So we want to make a nice, sizable donation to the Sickle Cell Foundation. So shake your purses, pull out your pockets, and take all the change and dollar bills that you have, and please make a donation. Also, along with this, we have scheduled a 5K walk/run on February 27th between the hours of 2 and 5 p.m. starting at Griffin Park. And we are asking for all participants to come along and do a walk, and all the proceeds for that event will also go to the Sickle Cell Foundation. So we would really like to make a very nice contribution to help this cause. All the information for the event is online, and you can register for that, and it's a $10 registration, and we ask that as many people as possible come out and support this event. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Ruby. Come on, let's give Ruby a round of applause. I mean,
I'm sorry. We do have an important event that I forgot to mention. On Thursday, February 14th, here in the council chambers, we are honoring all of our first pioneers of North Miami. So we're looking at all of our first Black city managers, attorneys, directors, all the way down, who was the first to hold all the offices here in the city of North Miami. So we ask that you please come by and attend. And we also will have our mobile African American Museum parked out front also, and that will be here on display for everyone to take a look at. And that's going to be this Thursday, February 14th, and the van will be here until 4 o'clock, and the program will start at noon. So please come out and join us. And I apologize for not mentioning that one.
Anything else she needs to mention? Okay. I think we have an essay contest at the library going on. Where's Lucia? Right, Lucia? Essay contest at the library going on. In addition to that, those of you who have not visited the North Miami Public Library in terms of Black History books, DVDs, and CDs, I mean, a list was sent over to me, and there's approximately 25 different books, DVDs, and stories about Black History Month, and I think they're all available at the North Miami Public Library. Although I have checked a few of them out, I'm reading a few books. I mean, there's a book that is, fabulous. If you have not a chance to read that book, you may want to get your hands on it, which is Slavery by Another Name. I think I'm done with that book, and Miss City Attorney, you have it now, and the city manager, and after that, we could return it to the library so other people could get a chance to see it. Another book that is very interesting is Muhammad Ali, Made in Miami. If you have not read that book, you may want to get your hand on it, and all that is available at the North Miami Public Library. Roots 30th anniversary edition. I think it's more than 20 or 30 hours, so there's a lot of work that needs to get into that. So although I have already checked that book out, but I have not been able to get through it. So there's a lot going on at your North Miami Public Library. You know that the council has voted basically to finally get the work done at the North Miami Public Library, so the children, we could update some of the books that we have there. So Ms. Crenshaw, we would like to present this proclamation to you for, the Black History Month begins in 1926 in the United States when the city of North Miami was founded. And it begins as the second week of February to be Negro History Week. Then from there, it was marked the birthday of both Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Then from there, it was eliminated from Black History and become from Negro History Week to Black History Month in 1969, the year that I was born. And we continue to celebrate that throughout the country and also in the city of North Miami. So in consideration for all the city has done, I, Andre Pierre, Mayor of this great city, on behalf of the City Council and resident, do hereby proclaim February 2013 to be Black History Month in the city of North Miami and urge all residents to recognize and support Black History Month in our community. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. City Clerk, you want to come forward and take a picture with us? Thank you. Thank you. Sure.
Okay, don't make me have to pass the jug around like we're in church to take a donation. So I would like donations that are voluntary before I have to pass my jug around. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to call on Chief of Police, Chief Mark Elias Jr. for the presentation of the officers of the month for the month of January 2013.
Thank you, Mayor. The North Miami Police Department Officer of the Month for January 2013 are, if you don't mind coming up, Officer Alfred Bryant, a 9-year veteran currently assigned to the Patrol Division, and Officer Nelson Perez, a 3-year veteran. Also, their majors there, Major Anne-Marie Cardona. No, it's not Watlers. It's good. Don't get me into trouble, okay, Mayor? Good. On November 27, 2012, a theft of money occurred at the 7-Eleven convenience store located at Northeast 125th Street. The unknown suspect took a donation box, okay, and listen to this, for Kids with Leukemia Foundation, which contained approximately $25. From the front of the counter, okay, in the area where the clerk was distracted, and the individual went there, took it, and just ran out. Now, upon being advised of the theft at roll call, okay, the next day, Officer Perez took it upon himself to continue the investigation and attempted to identify the suspect. Officer Perez met with the store manager after the conclusion of his shift. He did this on his own, and viewed the video surveillance footage of the day and time that the incident took place. Upon looking at the footage, Officer Perez not only observed the theft, but he recognized the suspect as a local, okay, that hangs around the store. Officer Perez obtained a copy of the video surveillance and impounded it with the North Miami Police Department as evidence. Officer Perez advised the midnight shift of his finding, and the next evening made all efforts to locate the suspect for the remainder of his work week. Now, he ended up sharing this not only on the midnight shift, but morning shift and afternoon shift as well. On December the 1st, at approximately 1 o'clock, Officer Bryant, while patrolling the area of Northeast 6th Avenue and 124th Street, observed the suspect walking in that area. Officer Bryant, recalling the information provided by Officer Perez, immediately stopped the suspect and took him into custody. Officer Bryant took the initiative to review the suspect's criminal history, at which time he observed that he had 3 previous violations. Same thing, was arrested for petty theft, which made the next arrest being now a felony. Now, regardless of the dollar amount, the subject subsequently arrested for felony and was transported to jail. We didn't find the money, but you know something? These 2 officers going on their own time, for a cause very worthy. You think about a person taking $25 for kids with leukemia. So I have to applaud these 2 officers, going beyond, the normal call of duty and showing not only to the resident but to the council here the quality of officers we have that serves you here in the city from the North Miami Police Department. Give you Officer Perez and Bryant. Solid. Oh yeah.
I mean, this was just when I heard what happened and just what was taken. It was, I thought we had to do maybe just a little more, and just go a little step above. And that's it. We have a lot of great officers that do amazing work on a daily basis. You guys you do have a good police department and officers and staff. So that's it. Thank you.
And I just want to say that it's an honor and privilege to be getting our award for something we love to do, and it kind of comes natural after a while to we kind of get the eye to look for people, and we get to know the wrong people at times, but it turns out to be for a good reason, and like in this case.
We got room down here. What's the middle? Maybe some.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna move on. We did utility service partners presentation by Michael Madden. Michael, we could.
Okay, first of all, you should have had a copy of the presentation in your...
Yeah, I've seen that already.
It's in our package.
It's a good program.
Okay.
And unfortunately, my thumb drive didn't work, so I don't have anything to go under your video. So I did have it on the drive. I don't know what happened to it, but I apologize for that. Mike Madden, the general manager for the eastern half of the United States for Utility Service Partner. Utility Service Partner is the administrator for the National League of Cities Service Line Warranty Program, which we're going to be talking about tonight. As you may or may not be aware of, in the first slide, the average age of a household in the United States is about roughly 36 years. That means that probably in your city that you would probably be close to that statistics or maybe even higher. The other interesting statistic that you may not be aware of is that about 18%, only about 18% of the households in the United States could actually afford a cost to their monthly budget of $4,000, which interestingly is basically the cost of what it would be to replace their water and sewer lateral service lines, one of those lines. What most homeowners are not even aware that these lines are their responsibility to replace or repair, and those costs for those line replacements and repairs range from anywhere from a few $100s to as much as $4,000, and in some places as much as $8,000. A lot of times when these things do happen, the homeowner's first call is to the city to try and find out what they should do, and you guys are actually, or your staff has to handle these situations. And that is where we come in is that the National League of Cities Service Line Warranty Program is set up to provide a low-cost alternative to the resident to repair those lines through our program for basically about between $5 and $6 for the water line and about $6 and $7 for the sewer line per month. The resident can have those repairs taken care of through our program. These products are specifically designed for the single-family home, and they are a voluntary optional coverage. That means that they can they can either choose not to enroll in the program or pick one line or not the other. There's no long-term contracts, and there's no cost to the city to participate in the program. There's also no liability to the city, and we help the process with your residents through this affordable program to not only help them replace these lines, but it also strengthens the integrity of your water and sewer system. We use your local contractors to do the work. There is a hotline that's open 24/7, 365, and all the repairs are done to code, and your residents' involvement, other than having to sign up for the program, is just a call to us, and we take care of everything from that point forward.
Mr. Madden, we have you online, so if you just tell us what page Mr. Ghani would be able to.
Okay, I'm on the schematic of the picture of the house.
Just tell us what page on
Well,
your
it's
presentation.
mine doesn't actually have a page number on it that I'm reading from, so it's about the fourth right there. Okay, this is basically what we're talking about. Is that the lines running from the utility connection, in the case of a water meter, the water line, the fresh water line, it's usually the water meter back into the foundation to the house. Not inside the foundation, but to the foundation. Any damage or repair to that line is taken care of under the program. Same thing for the wastewater service line. That's from wherever it connects into the trunk. Usually it's the trunk of the line in the case for the sewer, back into the foundation of the house. Any types of repairs to those lines, breaks, leaks, clogs, or replacement are taken care of underneath the program. The next slide shows you basically what the coverages are. It's $4,000 for each line, each and every time. There's no limits, no lifetime limits or annual caps to the program. There's also no deductibles or other fees associated with the program other than the monthly charge. In addition, there's another $4,000 in case we have to go in and cut into the street to make the repair, and an additional $500 worth of coverage if there is actually a sidewalk repair. Again, it is an optional program. We use your local contractor, and there's no pre-existing condition with regards to any problems with those lines. As long as your resident, when they sign up, agrees to wait 30 days, all problems with those lines will be taken care of. Our approach and how we provide this program, we don't do any telephone solicitations. It's a very non-intrusive process to your residents. Basically what we do is direct mail. We do 2 direct mailings, one in April, one in September. We do those mailings and follow it up with a follow-up mailing about 2 weeks after the first mailing goes out. In the letter, basically it tells the homeowner it is about what their responsibilities for these lines, what the cost of these coverages, the cost of these repairs are, and that here is an optional voluntary program that they may want to take a look at. The resident can either sign up by the phone, online, or by filling out the blank response card attached to the mailing. How we do this is through a public-private partnership with the local governments. You have approval of all the information that goes out to the residents, the letter, any information that is sent out. We work with you to identify things that may be unique to your particular city that we need to put in the coverage so that we can make sure that your unique situations are covered and that there's not any problems. You then assist us by allowing us to mailing to your community, and we co-brand with the city's logo and our logo on the outside of the envelope, and that's basically our approach to marketing the program. Again, we're not a telemarketer. We don't do any of that or have any problems, any other way of going after going to talk to your residents. We do have a Better Business Bureau rating, of accredited rating of A+, and have no complaints in the last 3 years with the Better Business Bureau. A couple other things that you should need to know about USP is that we are endorsed by the National League of Cities. We have no problems with any regulatory agencies or state agencies, commissions, Attorney General's offices, and we continue to have a very clean record with the Better Business Bureau. We think that our program has a superior product design. We have the broadest coverages that are available in the industry, and in fact, if you go to our next slide, from a customer service standpoint, our claims denials are less than 1.7%. So we basically cover anything, any problems, and don't have any, our coverages are so broad that we cover just about anything, any problems that would happen. From a processing standpoint, as I said, the resident, once they sign up for the program, all they have to do is call us. We take care of everything. They make the call to us. We dispatch the contractors. Contractors invoice us. We pay the invoice for them. Basically, the resident is no longer involved in it at that point. We then do a survey for the residents to make sure that they're satisfied and happy with the program, and that they had a good a contractor that came out and talked to them and worked with them. We use your local contractors, as I said. We vet them, make sure that they have all their insurance, bonding, and any other requirements that would be required by the city to make sure that they do the job properly and timely. From a standpoint of implementation, it's a fairly simple implementation process. There's a one-page document that is the agreement. Once that agreement is signed and executed, we send you some information with regards to a press release, the letter, and we provide the data with regards to zip codes and information about your residents' addresses for approval to be sent out to use in the mailings. That's pretty much the. And one other thing we provide from a transparency standpoint, there is access to the porthole that you have access to that has all the information about the program, very detailed information, number of homes have been signed up, number of calls, and what the results of those calls were, and also the surveys. We're in 44 states, 160 cities are currently enrolled in the program, and we're in about 10 cities already in the state, inside the state of Florida. Fort Lauderdale being the largest, Lauderdale Lakes, Green Acres, Riviera Beach, Hallandale, just name a few of them off the top of my head. I'm glad to answer any questions.
No in Dade County?
I'm sorry?
No cities in Dade County?
Not that I can put my finger on right now. I don't know. Hallandale, I guess, is still Broward County. You would be, I guess, actually the first in Dade County.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I'm not sure. This is a program that has been endorsed by the National League of Cities that I know Mr. Bland is very involved. He's also was the president of the Miami-Dade League of Cities, to the Florida League of Cities, and being involved with this, National League of Cities. In fact, I think today an announcement was made that Marie is the president of the National League of Cities,
sitting with the president's wife.
and she's going to be sitting. She's in D.C. now. She's going to be sitting with the president's wife, which a lot of us know pretty well, to the National League of Cities. This program doesn't cost the city anything, and it seemed to me, but I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at the city of North Miami. We have an aging, housing stock, so most of these pipes are really old. So
Well,
you don't know whether this is going to be profitable to you. I can tell you that I had one of those problems at my house, and it cost me a fortune. And not only that, I had to pay to find what the leak was, to get the pipes repaired. The city charged me an arm and a leg for the water that I didn't even use.
Well,
so I'm not sure if you really look at it, because this may not be profitable to your company.
Well, first, let me say that's a very common problem. That we're in Atlanta, and they have similar problems, and we've been very helpful with the city of Atlanta. One woman almost lost her house over the cost of that repair, because that's exactly what ends up happening. You have usually the line needs to be replaced. At the same time, there's a large water bill because there's been a leak at the house that the resident isn't aware of, and that's part of what we're here to try and help the cities deal with. So we will go in and look at and talk with both your public works director and some of the contractors in the area to determine what those issues are. But we're very comfortable in how we do this. We do this all over the United States, and we don't deny for material problems or try and charge absorbent rates to cover for a particular age of a community or not. We have a standard pricing, and we pretty much use that across the board. And hopefully that some of that, the intent is that because it's a national program, that the economies of scale will help insulate some of that problem.
Okay, no problem. Councilman Gavin?
Why? I'm not even clear on why this presentation is being made. Are we asked to approve a contract tonight?
You're basically being asked to observe this presentation. If you like it, then from there, I would ask the council to allow me to enter into an agreement to later be presented back to this council.
All right. Here's my problem. No cost to the residents, totally voluntary, but our logo is going to...
No cost to the city.
No cost to the city.
The residents...
It'll cost the residents if they voluntarily decide to enter into the program.
Correct.
If the city's logo arrives on something that talks about problems with their home, they're going to think it's an official city edict, and they're going to say, I got to sign on that. People are going to be, I hate to use the word fooled, but they're going to be fooled into paying your company some money for things that are voluntary. First off, I don't like the way this is advertised. A presentation is one thing, but if you want to come back and talk about details, give us something to digest other than a few nice little PowerPoint spots. The only way I'd even begin to consider approving this, from my standpoint, voting for it, is if the city's logo doesn't appear on it. Because if it's voluntary and it's not necessary and people will have to pay money, then our city logo should not stand beside anybody's, because they'll think that it's the city telling them they have to pay money. So this does not ring right for me tonight. You've made a nice presentation. I get it. We've got older homes in the community. My home was built in 1951. I'm one of them. But if I was somebody who wasn't in this room tonight, and a month from now I got an envelope from the city, because the city's logo is on it, saying I should pay some money to enter a program, I'd feel obligated, or that it was an official expense that I should be spending. I don't like the way this is coming forward tonight. So,
Vice Mayor?
I'd just like to give him a chance to answer, Mr. Mayor, if you allow me.
Sure. Go ahead.
Regarding the logo, the city logo on the advertisement.
Okay. First of all, you have approval of what the letter says in the letter. So if you don't like anything in the letter, we can either change it or there's no.
Show me the letter first. I mean, you're asking the council to give blanket authority to administration to go out and do things. I'm not comfortable with that at all. So
I'll be glad to share the letter with him. It was not part of the presentation.
I'll move to continue this for 2 weeks so that good gentleman has an opportunity to present council with further information.
I second it.
Okay, so I guess the logo is an issue. I mean, usually the letter goes out with the logo of the city of North Miami on it. Is that the way it's done?
Yes, all the mailings use the logo of the participating partners in the program. There's lots of reasons for having the logo on there. First of all, is that we will not go into a community without the approval of the local government and the partnership. So, by the fact that we won't go into a community without that, we won't. If you guys choose not to go forward with it, then that's fine. We'll move on. However, part of the reason is that there is a benefit to the city by the fact is that it helps strengthen your utility system by the fact is that these people buying these these products have the opportunity to get their lines repaired at very cheap price, and that that repairing of those lines helps you both from the standpoint of capturing those lost water revenues, the potential for fines from the EPA with regards to I&I issues because of the lines that are aging and old. We try and work with you in every way we can to make sure that we're a good partner, that there's not a problem with any misuse of your brand. And to the extent that you choose not to go forward with the program, or you have any problems with anything in the letter, we won't move forward. Okay. So that's not what he's approving today. And you can have we're not even trying to prove anything today, but you'll have an opportunity to see all that information. There's nothing trying to be moved here other than just to discuss it.
So, Mr. Manager, can you get all the information before we actually give the blessing to move forward on that?
Mayor and Council, that was the intent. Basically, if in your appearance, you're allowing us to do what we had endeavored to do by putting it off in 2 weeks, and that is to come back with Mr. Madden to show you the entire package as to what will go out to our community. And if that's your direction, that's what we intended to do, and that way you can see all the letters, what we intend to do in the first place.
I stand on my motion to continue for 2 weeks.
So on February 26th, I think it's the next meeting, just bring the item to us, all the information that we would need.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you so much, Michael.
No problem.
Okay. We have a presentation by United Financial Counsels Organization. Basically, this is an organization that did the presentation of foreclosure prevention seminar that happened on January 26, 2013 at the community center. Jason, which is the financial counsel. Jason, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mr. Mayor?
Okay.
The seminar, the workshop that took place was beyond successful. We had 340 homeowners that took advantage of the seminar. It was essentially to provide foreclosure relief remedies through providing free education workshops and the opportunity for the citizens of North Miami and from beyond to meet with their lenders one-on-one, and also the city's hardest hit fund. From the seminar in the workshop, as of Friday of last week, 72 people have received mortgage modifications and other forms of, as I said, foreclosure remedies. It was beyond successful. I believe that the city and our organization to discuss on doing more than just one of these, since we've done them in Broward County and also in Dade County. The foreclosure epidemic does not seem to be calming down by any means, at least not in South Florida, with 500,000 homes still in the foreclosure process, and that's not even hit the courts yet. It's certainly a necessity, and our organization would be honored to continue to provide the opportunity to bring the nation's largest banks to meet one-on-one with homeowners and provide relief on spot. But as I said before, it was beyond successful, probably one of the most successful events we had. Thanks to you, Mr. Mayor, and allowing our organization to get the word out from it. All of the banks have committed to coming back to this area because of the response they got. And in addition to that, we've gotten calls from other lenders, maybe not as large as Bank of America, but that do have a presence down here in North Miami and Dade County to do something very similar in the near future.
Thank you so much, Jason. I mean, I'm not sure. I think maybe one other council member actually made it to that event. I was so surprised to see that there were so many people have not gotten help and still behind in their mortgage, and to see that the banks actually were there sitting down, no red tapes, no pick up, there's a phone call, then they have to follow through, then it takes 1.5 to 2 years before they could get their loans modified, and sometimes you're speaking with one department, then another department doing something else. The left hand does not know what the right hand is doing. So I think now we probably want to move forward and do another one in central North Miami, so we could get the additional folks that then get a chance to make it on the other side. Although I think it took us like 3 days to advertise for this event, and we had 342 people, you said, that showed up at that event. I mean, that was very successful. Thank you so much for having your organization coming down to the city to help the people of this great city.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have a budget presentation, which is a quarterly update by our finance director, Vernon Paul.
Mayor and Council, as you know, we have, this would be the first time that we, in moving forward under the direction of Mr. Paul, one of his aspirational goals is to provide this council with quarterly budget reports to give you a forecast of where we are in our current budget. And that being said, we also like to say that Arthur Sore is our new budget manager under the director of our Mr. Paul. So together they have this presentation before you today.
Okay. Thank you. And Arthur, congratulations on being the budget manager.
Thank you, sir.
I know you've been in this city for a very long time. It's a pleasure to see you continue on that path.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilman, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk, staff, and residents. My name is Vernon Paul Jr., and I'm the Finance Director. Next to me is the Budget Manager, Arthur Sore Jr. The City Manager directive for fiscal year 2013 with the recommendation from our auditor is to provide a general overview of the City of North Miami budget performance. The Finance Department from now will be providing to Council quarterly update of the City operating budget. Our main concentration will be the general fund, which is the chief operating fund of the city. The general fund is made up of tax revenue and other receipts that are not allocated to another fund by law or contractual commitment. The budget division of the finance department is primarily responsible for the budget control and analysis. For the purpose of budgetary comparison reporting, the actual amount of revenue and expenditures are compared to the projected amount. Mr. Sore will highlight both revenue and expenditure on the city operation in more detail. In those areas that we have some concern, such as property tax, Mr. Sore will provide the detail of the revenue and expenditure as well as what remains for future spending. The city budget was adopted on September 24, 2012. Budget control is at the department level. Revision, increasing or decreasing of total budget for the department or any fund require council approval. We are pleased to present the city financial operation for the first quarter of the fiscal year 2013, representing the first 3 months. The first quarterly forecast of the revenue for the current year are based on actual performance. And now Mr. Sore will proceed with the PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you. It's important to know a lot of our revenues do come on a quarterly basis, and this is the first quarter presentation. So in some of the cases in the revenues, you will see 0% in so far. That's just because the revenue hadn't come in as of yet, but it will be posted by the second quarter. So the second quarter presentation will be a lot more accurate than the first quarter presentation. As Mr. Paul said, we're going to focus strictly on the general fund, and we'll go over the revenues first, then we'll do the expenditures, and then a brief recap. This is the total summary of our general fund revenue, and it's approximately $67 million. To date, we brought in about 13%, which is $8.8 million. Each one of these actual rows I will go into greater detail with. But for taxes, we're at 26%, licenses and permits 52%, intergovernmental revenue 15%, charges for services 9%, fines and forfeits 15%, miscellaneous revenues 46%, and our transfers out is $146,000, and I'll go into detail. For taxes, our Avalon taxes, which is property taxes, we are at approximately 37%. The majority of property taxes do come in the first quarter because people do get their discount. They pay their taxes by November. We're basically where we're normally at this point, and there's no cause for no sense of concern right now. General sales and use tax, that does normally come in during the second quarter. Franchise fees were at 6%, and that is our FP&L, city gas tax, people gas, waste collection, and bus benches. Utility service tax, which is FP&L, fuel and oil, sun gas, propane, and that's at 11% right now. But like I said, most of these do come in the second quarter, so there's no cause for concern. And community service tax, that includes telecommunications, which is another one that comes in during the second quarter. But as of right now, we're at 26%, which is normal at this time of year. License and permits. Occupational license. Everyone is supposed to renew their occupational licenses October 1st with the city, so that's why the percentage is so high here at 68%. Building permits at 56%, which tends to look very good. However, actually on the expenditure side, we are through our privatizing of the building department, that actually should be half, so it will be at about 24%, 25%. Other licenses and fees, that's media net, the billboard money, and that's at 20%, which always comes in. Intergovernmental revenue, these are our grants, and basically you'll see the first two are zero. It's important to know that our grants are reimbursable grants, so as we spend the money does come back in, and that's why they're both at 0% right now. We haven't spent the money on the grants, but the grants will be spent and the money will come in as we spend. State shared revenue, that's our half-cent sales tax. And the shared revenue from local units is the occupational licenses from Dade County. Again, none of these are any cause for concern at this time. Charges for services, 54% for the first one, which is very good. In this category, we have our passport application fees, hardest hit program fees, zoning compliance review fees, and minimum housing review fees. And we're at 54% at this time. Public safety is our burglar alarm fees, and the San Souci guard gate, which is a reimbursable fee that we collect. Physical environment at 1%. This one is actually where our sanitation fees come in at. You all know we're on a quarterly basis for sanitation fees, so the bills, the payments are coming in, but they're not yet posted. So this will be fine. There won't be any issues with this one. Culture and recreation is our swimming pool revenues, tennis court revenues, and the summer camps. And right now we're at 9%, but that is definitely because of the sanitation, which will be fine in the second quarter. Fines and forfeits. We have our judgment and fines, which is at 15%. This is the Code Lien Amnesty Program, which is doing very well. We have our library fines. We have our violation of local ordinances, which is code fines, which is the code enforcement program, which is doing very good this year. And our other fines and forfeits, disabled parking and other items. Our miscellaneous revenues, we have interest and other earnings. We budgeted only $11,000 here. You see we're already at $20,000. This was the first time the city actually had money in the bank. That's why we have so much, we're collecting so much interest. Rents and royalties, that's the Oaks, money from the Oaks, $240,000 from the Oaks, the $319,000 from the other 213 units, and $100,000 for the bifurcated land lease. That's what that, in that category there. Sale of city-owned assets. Those were the 2 trash trucks and the 2 garbage packers you guys approved to be sold through auction. Donations and contributions. That's the GMCC, the $50,000 that we had in the Biscayne Landing contract was there, and also $150,000 for the third-party maintenance agreement at Biscayne Landing. Miscellaneous revenue was as a risk refund that we did receive from last year. Now I'll go briefly into the expenditure accounts. It's The expenditure accounts are different from the revenues. They will show a little higher than the 25% that they should be at. And this is just because everybody encumbers their money for various projects throughout the year at the very beginning of the year. So it might be a huge amount encumbered, but only a fourth of it spent so far. So, but you can see the various departments going all the way down. Everything is in line. The one that's highlighted in red, non-departmental, that's your Biscayne Landing money. That's why it's highlighted in red. So you see, as of today, we haven't spent any money on the Biscayne Landing. I know we just had the allocation of the projects, but this presentation was done prior to that, and that wasn't done in the first quarter. The second quarter, you will see this number decrease as we move money to the respective departments to complete the projects. And right now, for the total general fund, we've spent about 21% of our budget. And that's it. As I say, going over all of the revenues, everything looks in line, as always, and we look forward to the second quarter to give you a clearer picture of what's going on with the city.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Paul? Thank you. I mean, you know, it looks like nothing for us to be alarmed about.
No.
But the one thing I'd like to say, it seems like with ad valorem taxes, it's low, but the lower it is, the better it is, because if you wait till March to pay it, you don't get, is it 10 or 12% deduction you get if you pay it early? What's the percentage? 5%. So 5% of 4%. Okay, 4% of $30 million. That's what, $1.2 million, right? About. So I mean, it looks like, you know, we're doing very good in that area. Okay, so thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Appreciate that. Okay. City events announcements.
I have questions. If
Sure,
I may.
go ahead.
Thank you. On the budget presentation. I'm not sure, Mr. Manager, who the question is most appropriate for. Please tell me. I've heard from residents as recently as 3 days ago that they haven't gotten their water bills since September. So we've got people who haven't received a utility bill in almost 6 months, which means there's a certain percentage of city residents who haven't put money in. We haven't received that money. How are we making ends meet if we are not receiving utility money from a certain percentage of the residents?
This is what we are currently doing. We're in the process of still working on the conversion. The issue is we are up to September. We bill up to September. We are now on the next quarter. That is one of the reasons that the sanitation revenue is not reflected in the current budget. But we are working diligently to make sure that everybody get billed. Once we can iron out all the nicks and knacks, the minor issues that we're having with the system, and the vendor get to correct all of this, we should not have any problem going forward to bill everybody in a timely fashion.
How many people have not received their bills yet?
Actually, all of them should be received their bill up to September by now, because we have already forwarded everything to the vendor, and they should have been out. The only quarter that we have not billed currently is from October to now. But up to September, they have been fully billed.
Okay, well now we're splitting hairs, September versus October. I'm concerned that we have people that haven't paid, that haven't even been asked to pay their bill for almost 6 months. Yet we're saying there's a healthy revenue stream, there's no problems. But if first off, here's if you don't know it tonight, I've got to ask that you give it to me tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Of all the utility customers that North Miami provides, how many have not received a bill since September of 2012?
All of them has received a bill except for October going forward. The reason is that we do not want to turn around and issue any bill without making sure that the system is calculating the bill correctly.
But the question was,
yes.
He heard that people have not received their bills in the last 6 months. Your answer should have been, that's not true.
This is the last week.
Okay, they should have already received since October.
That is correct.
Exactly.
Right, so they have to give them the answer based on the information you got.
Yeah.
So now everyone already received their bill except for
from
next
October,
quarter.
From October,
right.
Yes.
So everyone should have already received their bill. So you have to answer the question that was asked.
Yes, they did.
So I'm confused. We're coming up on March, And the next bill quarter would be January, February, March. I get it that people haven't gotten January, February, March because we're still in the midst of that. Why haven't people gotten October, November, December?
It's still in the conversion process that we are making sure that.
So
we
here's the
calculate.
question I ask. Please provide me the answer tomorrow. A, of all the utility customers we have, how many have not received October, November, and December? That might be 5%, it might be 95%. I don't know.
It is 100%.
It's 100%.
As of
So
starting
here's
from
the
October,
next
yeah.
question I have.
Yes.
If 100% of our utility billing customers have not paid for the last quarter, how the heck are we making money balance out? Because that's a significant amount of revenue we're not getting. How is our financial stream so healthy if we haven't received water bills from 100% of our customers for the last quarter, not including this customer?
We will be getting all those revenue at once.
Well, yeah, people are going to be asked to pay 6 months worth of bills. That's hard. You think people are angry that their utility bills are too high now? Wait till they get hit with a 6-month bill.
Through the mayor, councilman, that is an enterprise fund.
That is correct.
So the enterprise fund has nothing to do with our general revenue.
And I wouldn't have brought it up except that it was referred to in one of the slides tonight. I made notes to myself that
Sure.
tonight's presentation was about the general fund, but then they touched upon, the
Absolutely.
utility revenue being
The sanitation.
not as good in the first quarter, but it would be better in the second quarter. I just don't get it how we're
It's the
promoting a picture of economic health when we haven't billed everybody for the last quarter of 2012. And I'm just curious how we're able to make money balance out if we've not received that significant amount of revenue.
Councilman Galvin, we will be getting those revenue, but however, it is best that I make sure that before we build that, we fix all the kinks that are in the system. It will be worth having to send all those the resident a bill that is incorrect and have everybody coming in and said that, why is my bill not calculated correctly? I'm doing the due diligence to make sure that we are giving them a bill that is correct, and going forward, when we fix all the problem with the system, because as always, we didn't run the parallel that was required during the conversion. We had a system that was antiquated. We didn't want to turn around and lose the data. I had to run and take that decision on myself to make sure that we're going to bring a system that will work for the future going forward. So it's partly I take responsibility for not being able to send the bill, but however, I have to make sure that the bill that I'm sending is a correct bill instead of sending the people a bill that is not correct.
Well, I just have to be on the record at expressing extreme financial concern for this city that we've not billed anybody for the last 5 to 6 months worth of utility usage, and I just don't see how we are making the bottom line add up.
Through the mayor, councilman, we are switching software. There's a lot of things that we plan to do to make billing easier for our customers. In order to do that, we were on an antiquated system. This is a part of the woes of switching and becoming into the new era. We made the decision to ensure that accuracy was paramount opposed to sending out a bill. So therefore, we're confident that the utility bills will go out. When they go out, they will be accurate. It did cause us to be a quarter late. It is a slight inconvenience, but accuracy is paramount. And moving into the 21st generation is paramount. So that in order for us to get the new software, we have to have the new software so we can bring a lot more services to our residents, such as paying with a credit card. When they use a check, it would automatically come out of their account. That alleviates bounce checks. Also giving them the ability to pay online. So when you make these conversions to go into a new software, these are historical challenges that any city, any company, any corporation will encounter. So we had to do it. And it does cause a slight inconvenience where one quarter did not get mailed out to ensure accuracy. the end results will lead into the fact that we will have better accounting, we will have less checks being bounced, it would increase our revenue stream, and it would allow our customers to have a wide variety of pay selections, whether it's credit card, online, check, all of that stuff to make this city into the progressive city it should be.
That's great, but here, and I agree that we need to be progressive. The last check I'm still writing to pay my bills is to the city of North Miami, I'm embarrassed to admit. But here's the problem I have. That's a huge revenue stream that we have not gotten since October 1st. So we don't have that much in our reserve for that account. How is it that we've managed to keep the city moving if we're not getting any money at all from any of our utility customers? That's what I'm unclear to. If you don't have the answer tonight, that's cool.
Sure, I have the answer. That you're mixing apples and oranges. Our general revenue is our general revenue.
Right.
That's how we operate. The enterprise fund, the water, already has money in it to operate. So we're a quarter behind, and that quarter does not adversely affect the enterprise account, nor does it have anything to do with the general operating fund of the city. So being a quarter behind has no adverse impact on anybody. We will, when the bill goes out, it will be paid and we'll be brought up to speed. But there is funding to run that enterprise. So the quarter shortfall has minimal impact to our enterprise account, and it has nothing to do with our general account. So there is no need to worry. There is no adverse impact. Because we didn't get a quarter payment or we late mailing it out, it does not impact the operations of the city financially, fiscally, because they're two separate accounts.
Then I would ask, please educate me tomorrow as to what the reserve was that we've been living on and what the amount is that we're hoping to still collect.
Absolutely.
And please, gentlemen, I'm not looking forward to a million angry phone calls and emails from residents who get a 6-month bill for their utilities. Please find a way to deal with that, because you keep saying they're going to get a bill and they're going to have to pay it all. So what I'm hearing is last quarter and this quarter they will get their bill.
Sure.
And if they get the last quarter bill on Tuesday and this quarter bill on Thursday, and they're separate bills, but it's still coming, home to roost at the same moment, they're still being asked to dip into their pocketbooks to pay 2 utility bills at the same time. That's just not going to be fair to our residents.
Sure, and we're
Mr. Mayor, guys, the councilman make a statement. Can you take it and move on and work on it and satisfy his desire for his constituent? Enough of that discussion. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, I have a question. And Mr. Paul,
yes, sir.
Do you anticipate any shortfall this year?
No, there was not going to be any shortfall. The only thing is just that we are making sure that we are billing the individual customer correctly, because billing them incorrectly will create more issues than anything else.
Okay, thank you.
An explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. City events announcements.
Oh, we still there? Can we postpone that for next council meeting? I'm just kidding.
If you insist. Good evening, everyone. I'm Cynthia Sileston, and I'm going to actually be able to keep this quite brief because Ms. Crenshaw did quite a bit of my announcements when she talked about Black history, so let's get on our way. All right. The announcements for today begin with good news that although tax season is upon us, there is a volunteer income tax assistance program. From now until April 11th, every Tuesday and Thursday evening from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Sunkist Grove Community Center. Individuals can visit the site to have their income tax return prepared and filed for free by IRS certified volunteers who speak English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole. You can also get answers to tax-related questions and learn more about federal tax credits that you may qualify for. For more information, please contact Maurice Laguerre at 305-685-5461, Monday through Friday from noon to 8 p.m. Next Monday, city administrative offices are closed on Monday, February 18th, in observance of the President's Day holiday. On Thursday, February 21st at 6:30 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library, Baba Adekemi Lyons, accomplished actor, musician, and renowned storyteller, will take audiences on a 1-hour journey mixing Zulu, Ashanti, Yoruba, and Benin stories and songs with actual events to provide a strong sense of history and self. That's yet another continuation of the programs we're providing for Black History Month. Okay, Get in Gear. Community bike ride is back yet again. Saturday, February 23rd. Registration is at 8:30 a.m. and the ride departs promptly from Mocha Plaza next door at 9 a.m. sharp. The 10-mile bike ride is a Achieve Wellness initiative in partnership with the North Miami Parks and Recreation Department and the North Miami Police Department. We hope to encourage a healthier lifestyle through exercise and more nutritional diets. And how great is it that you get to go for a wonderful morning bike ride escorted by North Miami PD. For details on Get in Gear bike ride, call the North Miami Office of the Mayor and Council at 305-895-9815 or 305-895-9818. Okay. Now, free prescription discount cards available to North Miami residents. This one's pretty important. The City of North Miami is happy to partner with the National League of Cities to help save you money on prescription medicines not covered by insurance. The North Miami prescription discount card is available to all city residents free of charge and can help you save up to 20% off the price of commonly prescribed medications at participating pharmacies. Look for the blue and white card displays at city facilities and local pharmacies. Tonight, you can pick them up. We do have them at the back of the room on the round table, so please help yourself. To learn more about where you can pick up the card and what pharmacies participate in the network, please call the toll-free number 1-877-321-2652. Okay, to end on a fun note, the Miami-Dade County Fair and Expo is on its way back. It's starting from March 14th through the 31st. Be sure to purchase your discount tickets here at City Hall on the first floor in the personnel department. They'll be on sale until March 12th. And to conclude, I wish all of you a very happy Valentine's Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. City projects update.
Good evening, Jeff Geimer, Director of Parks and Recreation, and I'm going to provide a brief update on work that's already been completed at Gwen Margolis Community Center and some of the work that's upcoming, just to eliminate any confusion that's previously existing. Dunya, if you can pull up the slide. This first slide basically shows the before and after of the handrails that we replaced at Gwen Margolis Community Center, right at the entrance to the facility. This slide shows the parking lot. In the parking lot, we basically repainted and restriped the entire parking lot. We performed some landscaping improvements at the center as well. When we move inside, and on the left you'll see a before picture, and on the right you'll see an after picture of some of the work that we've done. We've removed all of the carpeting from inside the facility. As you can see, the walls were blue before with the gray carpeting. All of that's been changed out. The carpeting has been there for over 20 years. We basically removed all the carpeting, patched all the walls, and then painted. With the paint, we used a two-tone color, and we put a chair rail in around the entire border of the facility, and we also put a baseboard in, all of which is made of wood. It wasn't the plastic type that was there previously. You'll also see in this picture a little bit of the work that was done on the lighting, but it'll show a little better in the next pictures. In this picture on the left-hand side, you'll see the old window treatments that we used to have with the shades. What we did was we went in and tinted all of the windows in the facility and removed the old treatments, the window treatments, just to clean it up a little bit. And you'll see a little bit more of the color change as well. And what you can see in actually both pictures is we've gone in, upgraded all the ceiling tile, replaced it, and in order to clean up the facility a little bit. In this picture, it really shows the improvements that we did with the lighting as well. You'll see like a before and after on the left-hand side. You can see the color difference, how it's a little bit duller, and on the right-hand side, how it looks a little bit more fresh. And we upgraded all the lighting. We painted all the hi-hats that are in this little drop ceiling, so they really blend in and look sharp. That's just a summary of what I explained, the entrance handrail replacement, parking lot painting, landscaping upgrades, removal of carpet and painting, chair rail and baseboard installation, ceiling tile replacement, lighting upgrades, and window treatments throughout the building. To date, we spent a total of $10,000. I know that there's $50,000 allocated towards the project, but what we had to do, the next phase is coming up in March, and that's the big phase, and it's the restrooms. We are still entertaining quotes for the restrooms. We wanted to set aside $40,000. That's the high end, but we wanted to be safe, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to get that project done. If we're able to complete that project, we also have some other things that we want to do on the interior of the facility as well. The wireless internet access, we're going to make that happen no matter what. We've already done the part on the city's end. We're waiting for Comcast to come out and connect us, so we'll have wireless internet throughout the facility. Upgrading the chandelier and the artwork in the building, replacing the interior doors, and renovating the storage areas. Those are all things we have on our radar. We're hoping to get them done, but it's all going to be based on where the bathrooms come in at. And we've basically blocked out the month of March to get that work done in the facility. Does anyone have any questions on Gwen Margolis?
Thank you. I mean, we finally.
Good work, Jeffrey.
It's getting done. You know, I haven't been in there yet. I didn't know that you were that far. So the last time we were in there was back in early January. When did that work start?
Actually, it was like right after that.
Right after that,
yes.
After we had the meeting. And okay.
Yes.
I definitely stopped by. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
May I, Jeff, it's not on Gwen Margolis. I think you guys did a wonderful job in there. I remember that I talked to you guys about Kiwanis, the window treatments for the kitchen area and the office area. I think it's really needed to have it there. Even when you rent the place, when the people actually sit on the patio, you can actually see everything in the kitchen in the office. And during the daytime too, you don't want to attract people to understand exactly what's in there.
Yeah, and
I don't mind about the sliding doors and all that, but the kitchen and the office area really.
No, I know it's a priority for you, and
I mean, it shouldn't be for me, but
I know it's a priority
well,
project,
issue.
and it's a funding issue as well, and
well, that shouldn't.
We will make it happen.
Yeah, because it's not. I
Okay.
really. I think it's look very nice, but the point is, if we want to protect what we already have,
It's a
we
safety
need to.
issue.
Yeah, it's a safety issue. It's not. I really don't. I have no issue with it. I think it's very nice.
all right,
But I'm really concerned about just expose everything like that.
we'll make it happen.
Thank you.
Give us some decent bathrooms.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, fellow council, Mr. Manager, Deputy Manager, and City Clerk. My name is Kareth Fiddler. I'm the Assistant Public Works Director. I'm also responsible for managing most of the construction projects, if not all the construction projects upcoming in the city. The next few months, I'm going to be providing you guys with updates in regards to the projects. The projects in particular that was allocated with the Biscayne Landers money and a few other projects that we had slated. So I'm going to go over some of these projects. They're not in order. I know Councilman Galvin, you had a question about the North Bayshore Park. I'll start with that one, but they're not in any particular order. North Bayshore Park, pretty much this project is at this point, a lot of these projects, first of all, are in the infant stages. We're getting estimates. We're going to be going out to bid with some of them, just to give you guys a heads up. The North Bayshore Park, First of all, we're going to have to do a structural analysis to see what's going on out there first. That requires us procuring a structural engineer. We're in the process of doing that. Rux Park. Rux Park, basically, we are prepared to scope, and we're going out. We're looking to go out for our RFP. We're working with purchasing now and putting that together. The two fences. Right now, we're going to be scheduling meetings. One with the Colonnade Townhouses Homeowners Association, also with Executive Manors, and the residents affected by a fence that's behind their residences. Once that's done, and we'll figure out how we're going to proceed with both fences. No materials have been selected. We're not sure what fence we're going to install right now, but that's where we are. In regards to the North Miami Gymnasium renovations, basically everything's pretty much been gutted. The existing bathrooms, the locker room facilities, the air conditioning system, the old duct has been removed, so that's moving forward. We actually have a meeting scheduled with the school board tomorrow, so next meeting I'll be able to provide you with another update. Pioneer Boulevard streetscape improvements. I don't know if you guys been by there, but the project is really looking nice. The fountain's pretty much constructed. Right now we're moving forward to the electrical portion, so it's coming along pretty good. The next phase is going to be putting down the pavers and installing the benches and moving forward with that. The pony stable roofs. This is at Enchanted Forest. We just finished putting a scope together. We're going to be soliciting a few contractors to see who we're going to procure to repair the roofs at the Enchanted Forest stables. Jeff spoke about Gwen Margolis, and that's pretty much it.
131st?
I'm sorry?
The east
Oh,
side of
131st
Street.
131st Street?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
The east side of, yeah.
Oh, the east side. Okay. That particular project, in regards to what? I'm sorry? The 131st Street, you said?
131st
Okay.
Street, east side of 7th Avenue.
Oh, east side of 7th Ave.
If you don't have an update, just
No,
next
that's
time
what. I thought because I actually did the west side, west of 7th, so I thought you were referring to that, but I don't have an update for east side right at this point in time. Any questions?
Mr. Manager, at the Enchanted Forest Pony Farm, I know that one of the big concerns was simply some sand for the pony run for a couple $1,000s. So I hope that in the bigger scope we don't focus on the request that I received. The request that I was making was just for some sand on the ground for the ponies to run.
Well,
we would be addressing the entire Enchanted Forest comprehensively.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any additional projects?
No, it's not.